as the Gold Coast are led out by Tino Fasuamala-Aui, and they've got some weapons in their side. David Fafita just behind him has been in great form this year, and I think his form has got a lot to do with this man, Kieran Foran, who is just such a warrior. There was 6 seasons there where you thought Kieran Foran might have played his last year, but backed it up with a couple of seasons at Manly, 21, 22, where he played 50 games, and he's played 8 of 9 this year, and in terrific form as the Knights hit the field. Tyson Frizzell, Kalen Ponga, a win at home certainly is much needed after that performance against Parramatta, and a lot will hinge on his shoulders. Back for 2 games now off the interchange bench against the Cowboys. Started at 5'8" against the Eels. There wasn't a Knights player that had a good game against Parramatta a fortnight ago, but like the rest of the team, he's looking for a big one. And I don't know for Queensland whether he needs a big one or not. I guess they'll be very interested in how he goes today.
A guard of honour formed by some of the Newcastle mums. Happy Mother's Day to all the mums watching. Sit back and enjoy the afternoon on Fox League. Kalen Ponga just 1 full game as 5'8" for Newcastle this season. He's looking for a big 80 minutes ahead against a man who's given plenty of big 80-minute performances this year. David Fafita in career form, and comfortably so. Some of his numbers we might touch on during the game, way above anything he's done previously. Your Sunday ticket at McDonald Jones Stadium, the first leg, and it's allowed to bounce by Bradman Best and Gold Coast. What a start for the visitors.
Well, it was an awkward place to put a kick, wasn't it? The kickoff, normally they go deep, play one. Jaden Campbell just tossed it up in the air. Bradman Best, what was he looking at? Was he wondering who was going to catch the ball? Someone had to say mine. Never easy if you don't know where the sideline is and it's heading towards that way, but they made a meal of that.
A mix-up.
Yeah, well, a complete mix-up.
He and Greg Marziu. Hard to know who called what there. Anyway, Gold Coast, good ball to start the game. They go through the hands, and here's Campbell losing the ball. So Newcastle get it straight back. Well, what about that for a start? Mistakes from both teams inside the first 60 seconds.
Well, remarkable. Jaden Campbell going within a couple of metres of getting to the try line there. A full set. We've got facing the Gold Coast, and just over the top. I don't know. Surely he wasn't trying to pass that, but Jaden Campbell making the error and Newcastle getting out of trouble.
The tackle from Dane Gagai, one of a number of Origin incumbents in this contest. There are more who've been there in the past and want to return this series, so a lot to look at here for the respective Origin camps. Gold Coast, Newcastle. And here's a returning Jack Hetherington into the lineup. He loses the ball backwards. Still there, no whistle yet. Now it comes. Now there's a halt to proceedings. Referee Peter Goff.
Well, shaky start. Hetherington turning his back into the defence, offloads the ball. Lockie Miller just drops it cold. About to take off before he had hold of the footy there. So a shaky start from Newcastle. Error off the kickoff. Don't get through their first set when they were gifted the set by the Gold Coast Titans. So see if both sides can settle down a bit, Matt.
Adam O'Brien saying that he liked the bye. He gave the whole squad time off. They won't get a break during their next 2 byes, and they've had 4, he says, really good, tough sessions to prepare for this Gold Coast challenge. The most recent session described by a couple of Knights as their best of the year. Does it translate into their best performance of the season? The coach certainly hopes so. 3 wins, 5 losses and a draw. Here comes Mo Fotuaika at Newcastle. Chris Randall, Isaac Liu, he's Foran. Outside now, they find Brian Kelly. Again, Dane Gagai, a good one-on-one stop. Firstly, Campbell there on Kelly. And Fafita angles play towards the uprights, takes tackle 5. From 15 metres out, Liu, Tanner Boyd, Campbell on quickly for Jojo Fafita. Back to his fullback, and Crossland up there to shut it down with Bradman Best. They don't get to a kick, they go through the hands and they'll change it over 11 metres out.
And I don't know if that was the plan. whether they, at the start, the end of that set, they just thought that they were going to run the ball and not kick it, but whatever the plan was, it didn't really work, and surely they haven't made an error in the play the ball, the Newcastle Knights.
It has been a stuttering start from both teams. There's some ring rust in the Knights, and Gold Coast haven't cashed in.
Well, it won't take them much longer, Matty, if they keep offering chances. The Gold Coast, gee whiz.
So
there's enough strike in this Gold Coast time. They won't miss too many chances, Matt, but a big defensive set here. If they can defend this one, Newcastle, that will give them some confidence if they can hold on.
Oh. Completions 1 from 4, a very dodgy scrum, and that's describing it nicely. Now the ball through the hands, on the ground still. Have Gold Coast cleaned this up? They'll say play on. Lofi Khan Pereira doing enough to keep possession, but it was up for grabs for a long time. It was the experience of Isaac Liu helped the visitors settle into this set. Part of 3 premiership campaigns as a Rooster. Isaac is the captain. Tino Fa'asuamaleaui with an offload, and he's told to go back and play it. The held call had beaten the offload. Liu, Boyd tips it on, but to no one. Campbell can't clean up, and it's cleaned up instead by the Knights' Greg Marziu.
Well, maybe the Newcastle side can offer the Gold Coast Titans a couple of more chances, because they don't look like they can take any sort of advantage of what opportunity that the Knights are giving them. Both teams, very dusty start in terms of their handling and their execution. Their passing's not finding the mark.
Set restart here, that'll help the Knights. Hetherington. So the only change to Newcastle's 17 named earlier in the week was Matt Croker back to the bench, and this man, Jack Hetherington, part of every game so far. Into the starting 13, Fitzgibbon trying to pull away from Boyd, who grabs on around the waist. Now Crossland, here's Hastings, Best. No way through the tackle of Stimpson and Fa'asuamaleaui. Hastings, gobbled up by Thompson. Now Miller, his pass wide of the mark in front of Gagai. Young does well. Dom Young. This try-scoring threat for Newcastle on the right wing. Back to the left, Ponga, long. Best was looking for Marziu, who gets it eventually. His grubber cleaned up by Mo Fotuaika, and Gold Coast survive.
There was a couple of quick play the balls there where it did look like Kalyn Ponga's pulled up. I'm not sure what the problem is, but Ponga almost, the play the ball was that quick. I thought either Ponga or Best, if they just dummied and run, might have been able to crash their way across the try line. They had the Gold Coast Titans defence rattled.
Darcy McDonald is sidelined for us as the pictures show us. Darcy, a beautiful sunny day in Newcastle.
Good afternoon, gents. Picture-perfect conditions indeed at McDonald Jones Stadium. 20 degrees with only a very slight breeze swirling. There is a little bit of dew on the surface, though, and quite a few players slipped over in New South Wales Cup earlier, so that may have an impact on the game. Thank
you, Darcy. Tanner Boyd, no slip as he drives it down the ground towards the wing of Marziu in the shadows on this western side of the ground. And Marziu tackled there by Chris Randall, the 2 players who were involved in a swap pre-season. Chris Randall leaving Newcastle to go to Gold Coast as hooker, and Marziu leaving the Titans to become a Knights winger. Gagai hasn't missed an Origin game since 2015 when he made his debut. Thompson. He's been enjoying the starting role that he's made his own this season. Here's Daniel Saifidi, tweeting Jacob to come off the bench as the game develops. Crossland, and Ponga seems to have shaken that concern. He goes high end over end, down the ground to Jaden Campbell. And Jaden, stopped abruptly by Tyson Frizzell.
That's a good part and a big part of his game, Tyson Frizzell. Loves kick chase. Always very hard to beat.
That's why he's being spoken about in regards to an Origin return for the first time since 2020. It might surprise some, but as the selectors would say, in the mix. As for Fifita, another looking to return to the Origin arena, gets within 10 of halfway. Fotuaika, stopped by Thompson and Daniel Saifiti. So after a scratchy start, the teams have settled into the contest, into the grind, and the kick goes over the head of Dom Young. He makes the catch on the full. And Dom Young is stopped just beyond his 10-metre line. 9 tries this season, including those 4 in Mudgee against Manly. He's got a great record here at McDonald Jones Stadium, and a good recent record against the Titans as well. There are some threats on all the flanks for both teams here. Crossland finds Hetherington, and he goes straight into Randall. The matchup is tight, 14-13 in favour of the Knights, who have won their last 4 against Gold Coast at this venue. The kick, long, Campbell keeps it in. Magnificent from Campbell, but no, there's been a foot on the sideline. It's a 40-20 to the Knights.
That's a fantastic kick from Phoenix Crossland. The ball right just inside. Jaden Campbell had his foot on the line when he leapt in the air, so come from outside the field of play, Matty. That couldn't have gone any closer, could it, at Phoenix Crossland? That kick almost touched the line on the full, and then bounced straight up in the air. Gave Campbell a chance to rescue it, but couldn't.
Crossland gets his first career 40-20. It's the Knights' first of the season. It's the platform for this attack right here. Saifiti. What is the reward for the big play from Phoenix Crossland? Thompson. Hard into Fasua Mala'awi, assisted by Randall. Now the crash play. Saifiti had Stimpson low, cutting him down on the spot. Good tackle. Hastings. Now Miller. The fast feet beat forward, but not for Fifita. Hetherington. Ponga in support. There's the offload. Back to Crossland. Not knocked on. Backwards is the call. Ponga at the 10-metre line. Tanner Boyd grabbed hold and made the tackle. Here's Crossland taking his time with the kick across the ground into the sun, knocked back by Gagai. Hastings, the second kick, looking for Dom Young. Young with those long arms makes the catch and goes over in the corner. The double kick is double delight.
Well, it'll be an amazing try if in fact Dom Young's been able to get the ball in the in-goal area. The crossfield kick ricocheted back into the arms of Jackson Hastings. It looked like the kick was too far and looked like it was heading across the sideline for mine. Gagai able to knock it back, and then just a little chip there. Dom Young on replay looks like he's been able to do it. Jackson Hastings, the little chip kick. Gee, he had some work to do. Dom Young, he was a long way from the ball when he leapt in the air, had to get both hands outstretched to take it, somehow controls the ball and gets it down. It's incredible stuff from Dom Young.
14 tries in his last 14 games at his home venue. He scored in 3 straight contests against the Titans now. And of course, round 16 last year, a hat-trick against the men from the coast. Dom Young, bound for the Roosters, but hoping for a big exit before he leaves McDonald Jones Stadium.
And he had a couple of Titans players around him as he tried to take it. Being 6'5", I guess certainly helped him get over the top of Khan Pereira. Had to juggle the ball, and in slow motion, it looks fantastic. The work that Dom Young had to do in the air and then on the ground to get the ball into the in-goal area. What an improver. What a rise it's been for Dom Young.
What a get.
Since the start of last year, raw, you know, physically fantastic, but and all of a sudden, you know, he's one of the premier wingers in the game.
Lockie Miller from the sideline coming across the face. They have struggled from out there. Lockie now 1 of 6 from that right sideline. Look at the kicks again. The first one just pushed backwards calmly by Gagai, and the second effort out to the 21-year-old.
He was a long way from the try line when he caught that, Matty. That's the fact that he is 6'5", 6'6" certainly helped, but a lot of work to do. And the Newcastle Knights strike first at home. They have settled down, both teams, after a pretty ragged start. A drop ball, a poor passing.
A shock for the Titans, who have been used to scoring the first try so far this season. 7 of the last 9 they've gone over for the first 4-pointers. That honour today with Newcastle. And Marziu goes forward. What do they do in this set after their first points of the game? Hetherington. Crossland to Leo Thompson. The Knights, solid record at home this season, 2-2. Already as many wins as they had here in all of last season. And one of those losses was the Golden Point thriller. Very strong performance against the Premiers. Hastings, high, out towards the wing again. Loffy, Khan Pereira makes the catch. He's an attacking threat on that left wing, but a good defensive play there. And Gold Coast now, nearing the 15-minute mark of this first half, get a penalty. The first of the game.
Philip, onside. Here we go.
So Lachlan Fitzgibbon, too long on the tackled player, and he concedes 3 metres to the Titans. Close to getting the most penalties in the competition, Gold Coast. Second in that regards. But they are scoring the most tries off the back of penalties. So discipline, no doubt an area discussed by Adam O'Brien and his Knights this week. And they're working themselves into good position again. Gold Coast right here. Boyd. Now Campbell. Jaden grabbed by a leg. Palmer it is making the tackle. Boyd at the 20-metre line. Fafita, quick hands likewise from Foran. Fafita, Khan Pereira skidding over the sideline. Look at Hetherington celebrating the defensive effort. They've shut down one of Gold Coast's major attacking threats.
Yeah, he's been great on that left wing, but Jackson Hastings had him covered. The passing was pretty good, but the last one, Khan Pereira had to jump in the air, and the cover defence was across there. They did well. Newcastle pushed hard from the inside, and Hastings, Tyson Frizzell were both there to make sure Khan Pereira, who is lightning quick, didn't get down that left touch line. So yeah, they just haven't been able to get through a set down this end of the field, the Titans. They've had a few. Another one that they don't get to their kick.
There's a lot to play for this afternoon for both teams. Newcastle looking to get back into the winner's circle, snapping this losing streak, just finding that confidence they had at the start of the year. And Gold Coast, if they get their 6th win, they'll be just 1 result shy of the ladder leaders. They've already had their best start through 9 games since 2014, so some optimism on the coast, but they need to go on with the job. Crossland. Of course, no Jaden Brayley because of that season-ending injury, and Crossland stepping up admirably in recent weeks. The completion high down the ground. Khan Pereira again makes the catch, and again it's Frizzell leading the chase. Campbell straight out of dummy half, doing good metres there.
That's a great run from Jaden Campbell. There's been a little bit of strife back of their kick returns, not making much metres. Pereira with a quick enough play the ball there for Jaden Campbell to take 15 metres.
Now Jojo Fafita, the 20-year-old in this right centre position. Middle of the ground, Liu, Foran. Here's Fafita straightening. Hastings stopped him, but the offload, another of them from Fafita, allows some second phase attack through Isaac Liu. Last play, and it's Boyd kicking out towards the shadows again. It looks too heavy, it is. They get it wrong in the back end of the set yet again, the Titans.
Overall, I think Tanner Boyd's kicking game has been good this season. They're already a foot on the line, so it didn't matter, but it was well wide of the mark from where he wanted it, Tanner Boyd. On a whole, though, I think it's been in good form. You need to get those right. And that's another time that the Titans did get to their kick on that set. They've been down here 4 times. That one get to their kick and they put it out in the full. So need a big improvement on what they're doing when they get down into the 30, 20-metre area for the Newcastle Knights.
Gagai on the end of a big tackle from Randall, lifting and driving him backwards. Crosslet, another run out of dummy half. So just the 1 try as we approach the 20-minute mark, scored by Dominic Young. A leaping effort in the corner from a Jackson Hastings kick. 2 plays left in this set. Ponga to the line. Fitzgibbon tackled by Boyd and Fafita. Jojo Fafita. Short side play. No, back towards the open now. Ponga through Miller. Here's Hastings again kicking, looking for Dom Young to go over the top of Khan Pereira. Instead, it's Foran taking the bouncing ball, but he's driven backwards by Gagai, and the Knights force a goal line dropout.
And why not keep going to Dom Young down that touchline? Huge advantage over Khan Pereira in terms of height. Just couldn't get his hands on the ball, but it's worked once. Let's just keep going there.
Just a delay here while Jackson Hastings receives some treatment. As referee Goff explained, it was stopped while there was an HIA assessment, but that was more of a just a checkup for Jackson Hastings. Stop the bleeding around the mouth/nose.
Stay onside here, guys. Time on. Stay onside.
A little bit worse for wear, Jackson. Nothing he hasn't seen before. Ponga to Jacob Saifidi. So fresh legs out there from Adam O'Brien now. And a set restart very early. Here's Leo Thompson. So the pressure building on Gold Coast. Hastings for Daniel Saifidi. Mo Fodawaker in there, along with Liu. Cross and a crash play. Leo Thompson had Fasua Malaawi around his legs. Fafita over the top. And they had a lot to do to stop him.
Take it back.
I think he's been penalised for a high shot there. David Fafita. Thompson got down low, just ducks their head a bit, and there's the swinging arm. Bit of arm before it got him in the head, but it's a penalty.
(4-0) with the pressure mounting. You'd expect they will tap and go here.
No, I think
maybe not.
No, I think they're going to take the 2 and get the 6.
Okay, they want the margin to be a converted try. Would you have been tempted to keep ball in hand and go at the line a bit more?
Tempted, but I'd be taking the kick.
19 left in the first half. Lockie Miller, it's basically a gimme. Not a great kicking average this season at 65%, but there it is, 6-0 Newcastle. There's reward, at least for all that pressure.
Not much ball for the Gold Coast Titans, Matty, in the opening 20 and a bit minutes now. Only been able to get through 4 sets, Knights through 10 already. So huge advantage in terms of possession, field position favouring the Newcastle Knights as well.
And here's more ball for Newcastle. Jacob Saifidi has it straight after this game. We're off to 4 Pines Park to finish the round. Manly against Cronulla, 2 teams looking to bounce back from major magic round disappointment. And then, of course, Sunday night with Matty Johns. So Crossland and Marzu being sent back to the mark. A do-over. And Daniel Saifidi brings them forwards. Now Lockie Miller. Ponga over halfway with Fitzgibbon in support, but Newcastle 5'8" takes the tackle from Isaac Liu. They've come 60 metres and Hastings goes to the air, driving it straight down the ground towards Campbell. He makes the catch, and again, Tyson Frizzell. How many times has he led the chase and made the tackle on the catcher so far? At least 3.
Yeah, at least 3, Matty. That's such an important thing for your team to get the kick chase right. And look where the Titans start their set. Times it beautifully. He's up against someone that's not easy to take either. Jaden Campbell with great feet.
Ball on the ground, a win for the Knights. Lockie Fitzgibbon has fallen on it, but they've ruled knock on by Lockie. He's arguing, no, I didn't. Do they challenge this? Well, no urgency to challenge that ruling.
Well, let's see how it did come out. And if, yeah, I don't know if it was a... Not sure whether he just punched that out or it was just a poor carry there from Brian Kelly.
Both arguing their case very strongly. Brian Kelly saying strip, Lockie Fitzgibbon saying poor carry. And we'll never get to know what the bunker would have decided. No challenge, a break for Gold Coast, and they need one. Not a lot of ball to start this game. Majority of the time spent in their own half. And now Sami right on halfway. Tino comes forward. Stopped by Fitzgibbon. Liu couldn't dummy his way through the Saifidi twins. And there's 2 plays left. They've favoured this left-hand side so far. Campbell cut down by Hastings. Here's a penalty on tackle 5.
It was Tyson Frizzell over the top there on Jaden Campbell.
When you're ready.
High shot the ruling. The replay backing that call up, and here's a chance for Gold Coast. The penalty really late in the set. And here they are. 8 out in front of the uprights. Randall at dummy half. For Liu, now 4, and Fafita, the straight runner. David Fafita careers through to get another try and to keep this career season getting better and better.
Just so hard to stop in that sort of position. If you don't get your body in front of him, almost impossible to stop. Tyson Frizzell on that occasion, after he cut back on the inside, coming back, trying to take him side on, and it's a difficult assignment. Just went a step too far, Frizzell, and that left Lockie Miller standing on his try line to try and take David Fafita, which is an impossible task. Nice play there from Foran. Just dragged Tyson Frizzell enough across field where he had to come back and try and make that stop on David Fafita. from side on. And Matty, if you go too low, he's too powerful. He just kicks out of the tackle. You're almost got to tackle him around the hips, and then you're hanging on. You know, he might still drag you into the in-goal area, but very tough unless you're standing dead in front of him. So the little play there from Kieran Foran to just drag Frizzell across field a little bit, turn Fafita back on the inside, just had Frizzell coming back, trying to make a stop on a man it might be the toughest in the game to stop in that situation.
Grab hold, hang on and hope for help when it comes to stopping David Fafita. Tanner Boyd to level us up after David Fafita scored his second try of the season. It is 6-all. We'll go sideline, Darcy McDonald.
With State of Origin selection just around the corner, you can almost lock in this man, David Fafita, for a Queensland recall. He's been playing out of his skin this season and has put that form down simply to being happy on and off the field. Fafita was left out of the Maroon squad last year and admitted he misses the Origin arena and wants his jersey back. His coach, Justin Holbrook, backs him and is happy that people are starting to recognise the work he's done. And boys, just for the Knights, Adam Elliott has just come back onto the field for his return game.
Well, that's great to get Adam Elliott back after only playing round one. Fafita is much fitter than he has been in previous seasons too, Matty. That's obvious, and that's why he's playing as good as he is.
So how do they back that try up? What's this set like? Speaking of Origin, Game 1, Adelaide, May 31st. The Women's Series starts in Sydney a day later. CommBank Stadium. Get your tickets, nrl.com/tickets. The men's and women's Origin Series. One try each as we head towards the half-hour mark in this game. Mo Fotuaika, he's long been fit and firing for Gold Coast. But yeah, David Fafita, looking at his career averages and his numbers this season. Here he is, ball in hand. The most minutes he's played, most runs, most run meters, most tackle busts, most offloads. All coming in 2023. That's why, as Darcy mentioned, he's a near lock to return to that Maroons lineup. Problem there for Tino Fa'asuamaleaui that Darcy will keep her eye over. The kick high, Dom Young drops it, lost it in the sun, knock on by the Knights. At least they get the loose ball back, but here's a great opportunity for Gold Coast.
That one was a beauty there from Tanner Boyd. Got it high and over the head of Dom Young. Backpedaling, very difficult as you turn to try and pull that one in, and he couldn't do it. So the Gold Coast who...
So that first tackle of the set is going to be on report, just for how you come in at the leg.
Now,
okay.
This is what happened with Tino.
I'm just sharing the information not received, mate. It's down here, guys. 10 out, guys. Yeah, Matt. That's right. No problem.
So, not identical, but if you draw a parallel, we saw Junior Barlaw with a similar tackle last night in the Parramatta-Canberra game, for which he was fined. No suggestion that that is a hip drop.
Oh no!
What they in the past have called a cannonball.
Chris, head right in,
Yeah,
mate.
well, you can't with force. You can't go at the lower legs
No.
of a player who's already held.
Was there force in that? You can debate that. That's for the match review committee, but not a lot of problem there, you would imagine, for Tyson Frizzell. Here's Mo Fotuaika. So the bomb and the mistake invites more attack for the Titans. Liu wrapped up by Crossland and Elliott. As Darcy touched on, back from that frustrating pelvic injury, Adam Elliott. Vuna. Joe Vuna, edge forward, middle forward, out there now. Liu for Fafita, the offload, flamboyant. It was a flick picked up by Foran. And they get to the final play, only just, but they get there now. Boyd high, out towards a leaping winger. It's brilliant from Philip Sami. Soaring through the air, making the ball his own, and Gold Coast get a second.
Well, he is brilliant, Philip Sami. Mate, he is one of those wingers, Philip Sami. I'll put him in the Jordan Rapiner class, where he is just so good at all aspects of what it takes to be a very good winger. He's got footwork. He can jump in the air like this, pull in a ball that he shouldn't be able to, really. Marju was there, And Marju looked like he had a pretty good shot at it, but Philip Sami just muscles his way into a position that gives him the best crack at the ball. But he's just one of those players that can beat a defender. He's got it all, Philip Sami. I'm not surprised that he's played Origin.
You mentioned Jordan Rupp, and what about Kyle Felt, another really established winger,
Put
great
them in the same
air.
basket. Put them all in the same basket, where they're just very good footballers that happen to be stuck out on a sideline.
And Kyle Felt doing it again last night for North Queensland over the Dragons. Been a good start to the season for the Queensland clubs. Cowboys finding their rhythm. The Titans, the Dolphins, and the Broncos in the top 8 after Magic round. Could we have 4 Queensland teams make the top 8? It's a chance at this point. A long way to go. And a long way to go in this game. But from 6-0 down, the Titans score twice and find the lead. Tanner Boyd, one of the best kickers in the league this season, and he shows us why. He's landing them about 85%. He gives Gold Coast a 12-6 lead.
Philip Sami shifted from the centres to the wing in round 3 and has been completely unlocked. He's averaging 142 metres a game and is the Titans' biggest tackle buster with a total of 47 coming into this match. He's the fittest he's ever been and he's arguably in career best form. His teammates are calling him Phil 2.0 and believes he's one of the best wingers in the competition this season.
Well, they got down the other end. They couldn't hold the ball down that end of the field, Matty, in the opening 25 minutes. They get through a set, they score a try with a great play between Four and Fafita, and then they get to the end of their set again. Within 4 minutes, they've scored 2 tries. That's because they're controlling the ball when they're in the attack down near Newcastle's line.
Vuna returning the kickoff. I remember his brother Cooper Vuna playing for Newcastle, winding up off the back fence. Joe out there as a Gold Coast Titan. So Randall jumps into dummy half. 8 minutes left in this opening period. Fafita takes the line on, looks for support. It gets there a little late. And as a result, the defence had it covered. Brian Kelly, the recipient. Fafita was running and looking for a long time before he pulled the trigger on the pass. And that was lucky for the Knights. Boyd completes. High. Out towards Dom Young again. Looking up into the sun. This catch is better, but he's got some work to do. And the chase pins the Knights in their own 10-metre zone. Gagai. Now Miller. Some conjecture about Dane Gagai's future in the Origin arena, but given he's played 22 straights, given he's averaging more than 156 run metres this season, lots of try assist in there as well, he's in good form.
He's an Origin specialist.
He'll be there. As we see the kick from Hastings. Taken by Kelly. Yeah, already in very good form for Newcastle, Gagai, and always going to another level in the Origin arena. And here's another whistle. 7 minutes left in the half.
Punching back play. We can just have a look and confirm, please.
Okay, there's an allegation of a punch in back play.
At the moment, we're tackle 1 here at the moment.
Jackson Hastings has had that blood running from the nose for a while.
At the moment, we're tackle 1 here. Okay, we're just... Have a look at it. They are. That's why we're not going at the moment, Q. We're out hold of each other, but I can't see. Tackle 1.
Did you see anything?
No punch evident unless it was obscured by the sideline official. No, play on. Nothing to see here. Move on.
That was a big stop for nothing.
On the mark. Go back.
The Gold Coast wouldn't have liked that. Ball in hand. 2 tries in the last few minutes. with momentum. Vuna has it now. Foreign. For Fafita. Surrounded by 3 Knights jerseys. Matt Croker, the last to arrive, just to make sure there was no offload again. And now here's Frizzell. Tap and go. Fafita will be brought back here.
He's saying David Fafita had hold of his jersey. That's why I pushed him.
Fair play, mate. You can't push the challenge. Joe, marks here. Back here. Marks here, not over the line here, Tanner.
So Tyson's right, but I don't know whether that entitles Tyson to push him away like he did. Peter Goff obviously doesn't think so. He's penalised. And was there a Titan in front of David Fafita there? Why wasn't he allowed to tap and go? Not an offside penalty, not inside the 10. Anyway, they're on the attack. Boyd. Here's Preston Campbell, or Jaden Campbell, gone back to 2003, ball over the sideline, and Bradman Best is congratulated by the Knights for shutting down this Gold Coast attack.
Well, Jojo Fafita angled towards that touchline there and really gave Phil Sami nothing. He needed to get to ground, but Bradman Best got up under his shoulder there and had him heading towards the touchline. Pass never on. Wasted set there from the Gold Coast.
Dom Young. The Knights made that strong start, aided by possession and all the territory, but it's since shifted back to Gold Coast. And here's a chance for the Knights to fix that, to remedy that late in the first half. Good run. Marzu, a long way from his wing. On the front foot now, Jacob Saifiti. This is better from Newcastle. Well, it was, until Jacob left the ball behind. Was it lost? Was it stripped? There seemed to be more than...
Oh, there was more than
one in the tackle.
Absolutely.
So they must have deemed this, just clean loss.
Just popped out. Contact on Jacob Saifiti, forced the error.
Stimson spinning away from Fitzgibbon. Randall finds Fodawaker, and again it's Fitzgibbon flashing up and making the tackle. Boyd for 4 and 30 metres out for Fafita. Runs into Gagai. There's a good tackle. Centre on edge, front row, edge forward. Booner. Boyd. This time Jaden is wrapped up as soon as the ball arrives. Best racing in. Boyd lets it hang. Marzu makes it his own. Good take.
Gee, didn't they need it? Newcastle, they needed something to go their way, and Greg Marzu comes up with a big play. Under 4 minutes left in the half. They didn't want to give up another try. They've still got some time to do that, but reasonable start with Marzu's take.
Adam Elliott played 54 minutes in round 1. Hasn't played since. Back today after that pelvic injury that he called the most frustrating of his career. Keeping him out for the first third of the season.
Oh, mate.
Young gets to within 10 of halfway. No forward tough in that set for the Knights. The kick floating downfield and a little bobble by Campbell. He gets it back. The man who has extended his stay at Gold Coast until the end of 2026, saying, I can't leave Mum, she'll miss me too much. Nice touch in the week that we headed towards Mother's Day. And of course, Dad Preston, his 2003 Penrith Premiership team, having that anniversary, a successful one on Friday night. Big contact there on Kelly. Foreign kicks after tackle 4, content just to play the position here. There's some experience just driving the ball down the field. 2.5 left in the opening period.
Yeah, see what they can do and force an error from Newcastle as this first half draws to a close. He doubled up on some efforts there. Phoenix Crossland defensively. Great stuff during that set for Newcastle.
Kieran playing game 271 today. He's contracted until the end of next year. So, you know, the 300-game milestone is a distinct possibility for Foran, who watches his team concede the penalty here. And Crossland is keen to get on with it. But he's been called back to the mark, which has been a trend this round, to get play where the infringement actually took place. Lachlan Miller ends up taking the kick.
Not a bad strike.
Croker. So they can build an attacking set here, Newcastle. Looking to level it up come half-time. Elliott with that carry. And now Hastings and Miller. Jacob Saifiti takes tackle 3. Back through Hastings, Ponga. And now Bradman Best one-on-one with Jojo Fafita, who slides down around the ankles effectively. Ponga calling Croker underneath, then a kick nonchalantly for Tyson Frizzell. Kalen Ponga kicks for Frizz, and Tyson gets there first.
Well, we'll see how important that try is come the 80-minute mark. With a minute and a half to go, Matty, they get a penalty down their own end. They find touch around halfway, and then as the set's drawing to a close, Ponga out of dummy half, drifting across field, shows the ball on the inside, holds the defence up, and kicks a perfect rubber kick there for Tyson Frizzell, who I'm sure has scored a try like this season. I'm sure he's followed through on a kick this year to score one in very similar circumstances, and what a time to score it. As the clock winds down to half-time, Frizzell latching onto what was a great kick there from Kalen Ponga. Frizzell read it perfectly, gets past Brian Kelly. Cam Pereira really not in the show to make a play at the ball, and Frizzell leaps into the air, pulls it in, controls it onto the ground, and they should go to the break all square.
It's his 4th try of the season, Brandy. As you can see there, his career high for a season is 5 back in 2018 at St George Illawarra. He's not necessarily in the team for his try scoring, but they'll take them. And the try scoring has been a nice addition to the form he's been able to find this season, the 31-year-old. And the extras added by Lachie Miller, so we are all square. 2 tries each, the most recent by Tyson Frizzell on the end of a special kick. A great kick from Kalen Ponga, well weighted and positioned to go through 2 defenders. Hardly a gap, he gets the ball through, and Tyson Frizzell is on the end of it. Newcastle, Gold Coast, all square at half-time, 2 tries each. Matt Russell, Greg Alexander, Darcy McDonald on a sunshiny day in the Hunter. And it was a fast start by the home team. Dom Young giving the Knights the lead. David Fafita and Philip Sami answering before Tyson Frizzell locked it up right on half-time. So 40 minutes to go, 40 minutes to decide this contest. Bradman Best, big run meters in the first half. Daniel Saifiti, Greg Marziu leading the go forward for Newcastle. Fafita likewise for the Titans, who get the ball first in the second half. And big contact on Isaac Fasuamala-Awi, called into the 17 by Justin Holbrook, the younger brother of Tino. Here's another man off the bench, Joe Vuna. Fafita running off Foran. What a left side combination it has been so far in 2023. Foran to the line. And he's stopped by Frizzell and Hastings. Now Kelly. So they get to the last. First set after the break, and Tanner Boyd goes high. Across the ground slightly towards Dominic Young, who, as has been his way, catches really high on his chest, but makes a good thing of it and goes just beyond his 10-metre line.
Yeah, he'd want to watch those kicks, though. He's already mucked one up that went over his head. That one, Matty, he almost got over the light right shoulder, but able to pull it in.
Here's Elliott in his comeback game.
Well, he should be able to add something to this Newcastle pack. The footwork and speed around the ruck has always been the real strength of Adam Elliott's game. He's just something different. I'm sure after, this is only his second game of the season, will improve, but great to see him back on the field.
Now Ponga, a great kick from Kalen to set up that try for Tyson Frizzell in the shadows of half-time. And there's Elliott making the tackle. He was interviewed this week and asked what he wanted to bring, and he said a bit of defensive clout through the middle, but also some experience and ball playing when required. He could also slot into that dummy half role, of course, if needed. Phoenix Crossland is there. Tyson Gamble can play there as well, but Adam Elliott certainly practicing and open to spending time in that dummy half role. Now Fodawaker. Randall for the younger Fasua Mala'awi. Played the last couple of years with the Burleigh Bears. Here's Foran. Down for Lockie Miller, who has some room but can't get away from Kelly, who chases with Khan Pereira and gets dragged backwards. Well, Brian Kelly was arguing that there was a lost ball there from Miller. Peter Goff wasn't buying into it. Play continues.
There was a hint of a lost ball. It started to come free from his grasp as they dragged him backwards, but I think he just hung onto it, maybe. Very close.
Marziu, big and strong, 80 run metres, 4 tackle busts in the first half. Gagai. Met first by Joe Vuna, who made the stop. Now Crossland kicking after the fourth, and he finishes with a 30-metre gain. Didn't get it as he would have liked, but will settle for the outcome.
Well, kicked a 40-20 in the first half, Matty, and that's a great place to kick from, the dummy half roll, and he's done a pretty good job, Phoenix Crossland. Jaden Brayley, and over the last month he's just got the drop wrong, almost sideways by the time he got his foot on it, and that's why it skewed off and only made 30 metres. So the Gold Coast in a good position to start their set.
Yeah, Phoenix Crossland in his 5th season at Newcastle, 45 games into his NRL career now. And playing his 10th game of the season, so a regular in 2023.
Considering what he's had to do, and he's a utility half, become lock, and now he's been asked to play 80 minutes in the middle. I think he's doing a pretty good job, Matt.
Yeah, still a young player. He's 22 years of age. And 4 and long to Kelly, who had Khan Pereira on his outside. Now he pulls the trigger on a pass. And the ball back in field. Jaden Campbell gets there. Kelly, it looked like he'd blown an opportunity. He brings Khan Pereira into it, and Campbell caps it off.
It was a fantastic ball out to Brian Kelly that put him in a little bit of space, and you thought it was draw and pass out to Khan Pereira. Kieran Foran across the face there of David Fafita. Certainly fooled Dane Gagai, and then eventually made it happen. And a great long ball back on the inside. Foran was there supporting Khan Pereira on the inside. He threw it across the face of Kieran Foran. He beats the tackle there and is able to flick it out. In the end, great work from Brian Kelly, because he did look like he mucked it up. And that one from Khan Pereira to Jaden Campbell, a beauty. Long ball back inside, and Jaden Campbell, the instinct, the know-how to get the ball down despite the attention there of Kalen Ponga.
It actually worked well, because had Kelly passed when he first thought about it, Jackson Hastings was going to come across and cover Khan Pereira. In the end, Hastings had to go to Kelly. Khan Pereira gets the more open run, and the offload looked after the rest.
So you're right. In the end, Matty, he actually dragged 3 Newcastle defenders in. Brian Kelly was able to beat Dom Young's effort. Young came again, but then Jackson Hastings had to help out. So that did create the space for Khan Pereira. I just wanted to see Khan Pereira run, that's all, really.
Oh, it's a sight, isn't it? Lofty Khan Pereira, 11 tries. There he is with a try assist, and there is the conversion. He's kicking beautifully, Tanner Boyd, isn't he, Darcy McDonald?
Absolutely, Matty. And I've got a message from halftime from the Sheds. Justin Holbrook, he'll be really pleased with that because he wanted a better start to this half than how they started the game. He also thinks that the Knights halves have too much time, so he wants more pressure on them. I've checked with the Titans bench too, and Tino Fa'asuamaleaui is good to go after that knee clash in the first half. As for Knights, Adam O'Brien, he was happy with the start and end of that first half, but a little concerned with the lull they had in the middle, so wants them to ramp it up for the full 40 minutes, so he won't be too happy with that start.
Comprehensive, thank you, Darcy. The kickoff comes, and it's taken by Fafita, and as Darcy reported, Gold Coast fans will be relieved that Tino Fa'asuamaleaui has been cleared to get back on the bike and back into the game in time. Also relieved, no doubt, Tyson Frizzell, who went on report for a tackle below the knees that saw Tino come from the field, as Corey Parker pointed out at halftime, probably to utilise the free interchange that comes with that. But he's been cleared of any serious injury. And now Stimpson for the Titans. Randall goes to Fotuaika. Boyd's kick out towards the Sunshine Corridor, where Marziu waits and catches safely and now loses the ball. Here's a result, but it's a penalty to the Knights. Oh, big sigh of relief for Greg Marziu.
Did he penalise them for offside? Is that what he's penalised?
The reason, he's downtown, so it doesn't matter that he's run 10, he can't get involved in that tackle.
So there it is, downtown. Even when you run 10, you've got to retire behind where the ball was last played to be onside.
There was 3 in front of the play the ball.
So they could run for 10 kilometres and not be onside after that. And after the drop ball for Marziu, a breather for Adam Elliott and the Knights. Hastings for Ponga. His Bests, Bradman Bests. He was the only Knight to go to Bali. Came back refreshed and with some fresh ink. Ponga through Croker, Hastings, and Miller joins in now. Here's Dane Gagai. They all just drifted a little sideways, and they couldn't bring Dom Young into proceedings. Elliott with the offload. Crossland. Now Ponga. Ponga holds the ball. Tanner Boyd makes the tackle. It comes free. And the first knock on here will be awarded against... No, it's going to be called on Gold Coast. Newcastle are about to get the ball back here.
So got to touch on the pass, the offload there from Kalen Ponga. And I was surprised. There's the pass, or the attempted pass, and there must have been a Gold Coast hand touch the ball. That's the call from the referee. Tanner Boyd, was it? Yep, straight into the hand of Tanner Boyd. Phoenix Crossland had a crack at the try line. He ended up passing it out to Kalen Ponga. I don't know why he just didn't try and score the try himself.
Here they come again. Bests gets the leg drive going for a few more metres. Matty Croker. 1 try already this season for the former Taree Panther. Crossland. Now Hastings. Here's Ponga, the long ball. Marziu gets there eventually. He just stayed in the wrestle. I was about to congratulate the Gold Coast defenders. but they should know Greg Marju is a ball of muscle. He is so strong.
Yeah, they do. The former Gold Coast Titan, and had no right to score that try, Matty. And in fact, when he hit the Gold Coast defence, I didn't think it was much of a chance to get there. Even knowing how strong and powerful he is, he had a lot of work to do. Sami there, Fafita there. He was able to somehow wriggle his way underneath the attempt. Sami fell off the tackle, which left Jojo Fafita to try and do it on his own. Jaden Campbell, really no assistance there. And gets the ball in goal just before being dragged across the sideline. They need to hit back the Knights, and they have.
Played 25 games as a Titan and scored 15 tries for the club, as I mentioned earlier, swapping clubs with Chris Randall.
Well, he's been a good picker. He's been a great picker.
It's his 7th try, Brandy, in 7 games as a Knight. So he's bettered his goal-scoring clip than his try-scoring clip than he was managing as a Titan. He also set all sorts of gym records, lifting weight numbers that are scary just to read.
Well, we just saw a bit of that, didn't we?
Absolutely. Lockie Miller from the sideline needs to hold its line. It's into an upright and away. Gave it a really good look. But it's...
Well, there's plenty of time left, Matty, 28 minutes. They've been involved in some close games this year. As we have a look at the struggle of Greg Marju, but successful. The Panthers 16-15, the Cowboys, they went down also 18-16. The margin they are now, they had the draw against Manly, of course, the 32-all draw out there in Mudgee.
The kickoff floats down for Kalen Ponga. He goes straight to Jacob Saifiti. The importance of goal kicking. 3 tries each so far. Tanner Boyd, 3 from 3. Lockie Miller, 2 from 4. As a result, it's the Titans out by 2. 28 minutes left. Elliott. Over the next 2 weeks, Newcastle run into Cronulla and Manly. Those 2 clubs up next on your Sunday ticket. The Sea Eagles at home against the Sharks. Now, Hastings for Croker. And Hastings with the completion. Bringing Jaden Campbell forward. Brazil gets there first again, assisted by Gagai. Kelly trying to punch his way out of the 20-metre zone, but in the end there are 4 defenders pushing him backwards. Look at the line speed led by Lachlan Fitzgibbon on Khan Pereira. 3 tackles down. Here's Sami. I'd love a big carry from a Fafita or a Fasua Malaawi here. Here's the latter. The captain trying to back his way up the ground. Crossland stopped the leg drive, and Tino's complaining of a crusher tackle here.
At this stage, we're tackle 5. Your head does come through that, Kieran. Adam! Adam!
And he's going to get a result here, Tino Fasua Malaawi. No?
No, he's not. No, and shouldn't have either, Matty.
When I heard the referee calling Adam, I thought he was about to call Adam Elliott out, but it was Tino backing into the tackle and then sliding underneath the body to get to ground.
That's right. The defender played no part in that at all.
Absolutely. Look at this. Look at this on Dominic Young. He had Brian Kelly under his rib cage, lifting and driving. All a little scrappy over the last few plays, but here comes Gagai. Crossland for Brazil. Possession an even split now between these teams. Ponga. Quick play the ball for a pass to find Hastings. He goes down the ground for Campbell. Croker, along with Jacob Saifidi, make the stop. Now Philip Sami.
The game seems to have sped up over the last 5 minutes, Matty. Very quick play the balls coming from both sides at the moment.
Yeah, a bit of intensity and urgency that wasn't always there in the first half. 25 minutes to play. Gold Coast clinging to a 2-point lead, having not won in Newcastle since 2016. 4 strikeouts in the Hunter since then as Tanner Boyd goes high. Lockie Miller waits under no pressure, makes the catch. And now, was that high from Kieran Thorne? He apologised. It was just, look, a lazy slap, no force, play on, good call. Dominic Young runs into some treatment though.
I think Lockie Miller slips. Maybe touched it, but that's all.
Nothing in it.
Well, well done, Lockie Miller. Just bounced to his feet, played the ball too.
Yeah.
And then you're slow. You've got to get straight up.
So the penalties. This one given to Newcastle. 4-3 with Gold Coast not clearing the ruck. Brazil on play 1. He stays in Gold Coast half. 2 set restarts for Newcastle as well, on top of that 4-3 penalty advantage. Tyson Gamble is out there. It goes through Hastings. Ponga! Dummies! Now he goes to Bradman Best. And Ponga provides his second try of the game. Best goes over. 2 try assists for Kalen. In the first half, it was Tyson Frizzell. In the second, it's Bradman Best.
Well, he did threaten in the first half, Kalen Ponga. Ran some very direct plays and created a bit of space for his outside men. This time, he opens the space up himself with a great little show of the ball. Too quick for Tanner Boyd, got on his outside. And then Bradman Best pushing up in support. Too quick for Jaden Campbell. Great run, Kalen Ponga. Great pass to one-handed as he was falling, out to Bradman Best. For Newcastle to go back-to-back, take the lead, and possibly a 4-point lead if Lockie Miller can convert from the sideline. But big play from Kalen Ponga. And the back end of the first half came up with a big one to get them square at the break, 12-all. So dangerous when he runs that direct line, the speed. Too quick for Tanner Boyd. Too good for the rest of them.
Adam O'Brien was asked this week, does he still have faith in Kalen Ponga playing 5'8" instead of fullback? And his answer was, he's too good a player not to have faith in.
That's a good line. I don't think many people would disagree with that. He is too good a player to not have faith in Matty. You know, and I think, you know, there's been a lot of debate about the fullback position for Queensland. You only have to go back to Game 3 last year. Kalen Ponga was, well, it was one of the great individual performances.
A try scorer in his 7th Queensland Origin outing in that decider. And Lockie Miller from the sideline to add the extras. It's good. Newcastle back in front. They lead it 22-18.
Well, Kalen Ponga will be very happy with that. He had a disappointing night against the Eels in round 9 and put his hand up to say he wasn't good enough and needed to own that performance. He's still finding his feet at 5'8", so there was no rest over the bye. He was back in here working on his game and is now reaping the rewards.
You're right, Darcy, it's a good point. Again, it was outlined by the coach this week. While some players went away, and we will add only one of them went to Bali, the try scorer, Bradman Best.
To get a tattoo.
Kalen Ponga trained right through, there every day. Given his long layoff when he was out with concussion issues.
Had a calf problem too, Matty, so he probably hasn't done that much running because of that. The head knock, calf problem, so probably wise to stay back and do a bit of training, get some miles in the legs.
And the work on show here. A kick for one try, a break for a second try with his fingerprints on. It's Tyson Frizzell, another busy performance from Tyson. 4 tries to 3 in favour of the Knights. Hastings. The kick is called for by Jaden Campbell. Made it his own, a long way from the catch. And then solid defence. Fullback on fullback. Lockie Miller, Jaden Campbell. Work here for Khan Pereira to do. Four and a dummy half. Ooh, goes to Jojo Fafita. Lachlan Fitzgibbon.
This is good stuff.
Effective tackle.
Off the line quickly there, Lachlan Fitzgibbon. Chant goes up.
It's a great sound. It's a great sound for every one bar the visiting team.
Yeah, they handled it well there. They backpedaled and they didn't get themselves out of their line. They handled Fafita and Foran coming at them.
Boyd Miller makes the catch, throws it in field, goes back to get it. Great play from the Newcastle fullback.
That was pretty clever, wasn't it? Lockie Miller there in a situation where he found himself on the sideline making a play at the ball. Stopped, realised what he needed to do, just popped it over his head.
He's been watching the boundary fielders in the Big Bash.
Good stuff.
It's become a regular achievement. And Miller made that look pretty easy. Quick thinking, fast on his feet too. Speaking of fast on his feet, Ponga is cutting them to ribbons. Now he takes Campbell on. Kalen Ponga, what a game he is having. There's his best play. He took on Jaden Campbell, the speed merchant, and burnt him on the outside.
Oh, that does deserve a standing ovation. That was pretty special from Kalen Ponga. Off the back of what we just saw, created the chance for Bradman Best with a dummy and speed on the advantage line, at the defensive line. Little skip on the outside, gets on outside Fasua Mala'awi, throws the dummy and throws another one to grab Jaden Campbell. Wrong foots the fullback. That is brilliant from Kalen Ponga. Shows the ball on the inside, doesn't miss a beat. Still has the acceleration to get around the fullback. Yes, pump of the fist, absolutely.
And of course, he's in this discussion with Reece Walsh regarding the Queensland fullback role. Depending on who you ask, you get a different answer each time, but Kalen Ponga putting his hand up today as the incumbent, the series-winning try-scoring incumbent from last year. And what a game he's having. More than 100 run metres, 4 tackle busts, 2 try assists, and now one of his own.
Well, you can understand the debate. Reece Walsh has been in electric form. He's been a revelation for the Brisbane Broncos. And even in the game on Thursday night where they were beaten by Melbourne, every time he touched the ball, something looked like happening, and that has been the case for the whole season. But then you've got this man, Kalen Ponga, Matty, who hasn't had the greatest of starts. Head knock, sat out 6 weeks. You know, this only his 5th game, but if the Queenslanders wanted to see something from Kalen Ponga, they've seen it now.
And while he's playing his 5th game of the season, this only his 2nd full game at 5'8" if he gets through. The kick from Lockie Miller. Again, picture perfect. 18 minutes left. It's a 10-point lead to Kalen Ponga. The Knights 5-8.
Yeah, over the advantage line, just to skip on the outside, a show of the ball, but the little in and away on Fasua Mala'awi, that's Isaac, just too good, the footwork too good, and the speed, and then to fill the fullback with the play that he did, that's it's brilliant. It's just brilliant from Ponga.
So we're in the final quarter. Newcastle now with a very handy advantage, but we know how quickly Gold Coast can pile on the points. Threats everywhere. 6th in the league for point scoring coming into this game, Gold Coast. So there's a long way left. And Newcastle are anything but safe.
Well, that's another very good run from Greg Marju, who did it off the back of the last kick-off set.
Confident here from the Knights. A shift to Gagai. Gagai showing his strength, almost clearing his way from Kieran Foran, who did well ultimately. Hastings. Gamble with the kick. Down for Jaden Campbell. Gamble to Campbell. And it's Lockie Miller again, nailing his opposite number 1. Jaden a little slow back to his feet.
A bit of a knee. That's a big shot there.
That's the Saifidi sandwich.
Brothers.
And again, this defence from Newcastle in the opposition 20 has been a factor all game.
Yeah, it certainly has. And that was Lockie Fitzgibbon again, who came up with a big shot last time the Titans faced this sort of situation.
They're playing like a team that's been freshened up, the Knights. They're playing like a unit off the bye. Here's Tanner Boyd trying to kick his way out of trouble. It was a pretty ordinary set, and look how Newcastle will take tackle 1 where Miller, 13 metres, his own side of halfway. Marzu. In the next game, Manly against Cronulla, the Sea Eagles with that 70% strike rate against the Sharks. Their best winning percentage, but Cronulla have taken the last 2. Here's Crossland. Since the 50-minute mark, look at the domination in terms of line breaks by Newcastle, missed tackles by Gold Coast. There might be a few more here if they're not careful. Bradman Best, wrapped up by Philip Sami. Ponga. Hastings for Gamble. Lockie Miller. Gagai straightens. Dane Gagai through a couple of turnstiles. They are powering towards the finish line, Newcastle. Dane Gagai straightened twice, and the defence barely got a hand on him.
Well, they gave up the first try the second half. The Newcastle Knights have now scored the last 4 tries in this game. And in very quick succession, they love the big shift to the right. Just going to have a look at Tyson Frizzell. Runs to the inside, or just makes... Does he make enough contact? Even though it was inside shoulder, does he clip the legs of Kieran Foran?
Kieran Foran makes a defensive decision. Kieran Foran makes a decision there to initiate contact. Tyson Frizzell's running towards the inside shoulder, playing on at this point.
Okay, if they reckon that he initiated contact, he almost tripped him over. Anyway, Dane Gagai footwork back on the inside.
And there's something.
I lower my centre of gravity, he thinks I've made a defensive decision. He still impedes. He still impedes me trying to get to him. Mate,
I thought that way as well, Kieran.
I agree with everything Kieran Foran just said there. Tyson Frizzell almost tripped Kieran Foran over. You just can't do that. Even though you're running to the, it might be towards the inside shoulder, you still make contact with a defender and stop him. Don't give him the opportunity to get across and make that tackle.
And it's a big try to be awarded. It was 10 points the difference with time for Gold Coast. This makes it a really steep mountain now. You heard the argument from Kieran Foran. Justin Holbrook will no doubt be asked about that in the post-match media conference, and there will be plenty of people watching who argue that Kieran Foran didn't get the right opportunity to go at Dane Gagai, who could straighten back towards the hole.
Well, that's right, and he's right. He lowered his centre of gravity. That didn't mean he made a defensive decision. The Knights are 13 from 13 this second half. They have played perfect football after trailing and giving up the first try of the second half, down 16-12. They've scored 4 on the trot.
And what a 15-minute blitz. You touched on it. 4 tries in 15 minutes with Lockie Miller adding the extras on 3 of them.
The Gold Coast defence has been up to that big right shift that they always do. Newcastle, this is one of their favourite plays. They get the one sideline, left-hand side, and they shift it across. Most of the team involved in the play. The Gold Coast defence has been numbered up beautifully on it. It's just the footwork of Gagai and the fact that Kieran Foran couldn't get across to make the tackle that saw Gagai slip through. 34-18, Matty. So quickly that has happened.
Absolutely. Next up, Manly against Cronulla. Tom Trebojevic trying to show us some of his best form. The short kickoff taken by Ponga. Ruben Garrick playing game 100 for the Sea Eagles. And of course Cronulla with those threats. Will Kennedy, Ronaldo Mulatalo, 10 tries each to a couple of the prolific scorers early in 2023. It's next. Manly, Cronulla. At the 50th minute mark, Newcastle trailed 18-12. They now lead 34-18. What a period for them.
Still 13 minutes left, Matt.
Well, it goes without saying, Gold Coast need ball, and they need a really quick try just to open the door for them. Brazil, he's looking to shut doors, more of them. Now the kick, Hastings chases his own boot, and Campbell up above them comes down with it. But again, sit back and enjoy this Newcastle defence. Their line speed, their physicality, their contact in the tackles.
Yeah, that's played a big part in the turnaround, Matt. They've really restricted the Gold Coast Titans. They've kicked well, defended aggressively out of their own end.
Foran, and it's knocked on by Khan Pereira. Breaking down now for the Titans.
It has been a lot out of their own half, hasn't it, for the Titans, coming off their own 10-metre line.
Lofi, Khan Pereira, not given a lot of opportunity this afternoon. Having turned heads with 5 try-scoring doubles through the first 10 rounds. We wondered whether he might light up McDonald Jones Stadium. Well, it's been an opposition player doing that, and the one about to feed the scrum, Kalen Ponga.
There's the numbers from the 50th minute mark for tries for line break. 17 missed tackles to the Titans, up against 1 for the Newcastle Knights.
What about the run metre domination? Nearly 500. The Titans fewer than 200 in that period since the 50-minute mark. Gamble. Frizzell. The Titans had won their last 2 road games. In Manly, in Brisbane. They can't carry it to Newcastle through the full 80 minutes. The Knights hunting more points here. Crossland, Leo Thompson would love a try. Hasn't scored in his 26 NRL games, Leo. The 22-year-olds. Now Crossland, the grubber, into the legs of Gold Coast, and Campbell able to fall on the ball. Kelly, look at that again. Bradman Best racing up, centre on centre. Another little win for Newcastle. Now it's a big win. They force the error through their aggressive defence.
You can challenge there. I just thought you let go of the ball, mate.
Have they got a challenge, the Titans?
If you want. Scrum line, guys. Box on.
Yeah, Bradman Best, as have a number of the Newcastle players down this end of the field. Lachlan Fitzgibbon, Bradman Best. The entire forward pack. Speed of line around this area has delivered results.
Form up here, guys.
They're not done yet, the Knights. They love rewarding their adoring crowd here in the Hunter. And with the best part of 9 minutes to play, and Kalen Ponga feeling really good about himself after a big 71 minutes so far. They want more points. In the right position right now. Crossland for Hastings, and this is Jacob Saifidi, or Daniel Saifidi. The chant again, Miller drops it onto his foot and drops it straight into the hands of David Fafita. Look at him go, running down the field, chased by Miller. Ponga coming, Ponga gets there too late. Fafita goes the length. But how much time is available to the Titans? Fafita with a monster run, two speedsters in pursuit, and Fafita gets it done.
Well, he showed incredible speed, didn't he, David Fafita? The kick from Lockie Miller just bounced up into his hands. He had to go 90 metres. Ponga was coming at him from the other side of the field, just a couple of metres inside the 10. So that's a big run for a back rower. 72 minutes into the game, Matty. Slowing down at the end, but he was quick enough to get there, and there is time left. 8.5 minutes left on the clock. Poor kick. It was a poor kick. Last set to Phoenix Crossland out of dummy half. Has this opened the door for the Gold Coast Titans? You mentioned it yourself. They can score tries just as quick as what the Knights did. They got the players to do it, and they've certainly got the time.
Gee, that's a great sight. A fit David Fafita racing downfield. The kicks become important, and Tanner Boyd drags this to the left. So it is 12 points the difference. Best part of 8 minutes left. David Fafita grabbing his 6th career double.
Well, 2 converted tries to square things up. There is plenty of time left.
That 90-metre gallop has taken David Fafita to 211 run metres.
Said how tired he was. David, he needs a second win because they'll need him in these final 7 and a bit minutes.
Big numbers again. 3 tackle busts, 3 offloads, the kick off. Now there's Jojo Fafita in the nick of time. And Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. So think of it as 12-0 to Newcastle, if you like. Here's Foran, quickly to the outside, and Kelly. Ball wrapped up by Hastings.
That's good metres from the Titans. Getting it out to halfway.
Fodawaker drops the ball. That's a big error.
Yeah, 12 points were gettable, Matt, but they needed to be perfect. You can't be turning the ball over. That does make it very difficult now. If the Knights are able to get through this set, play smart, keep the ball down this end of the field.
Tyson Gamble has kicked the Knights' only field goal this season. "12 might be too many. 13, you'd imagine, definitely would be. Is it too early to think along those lines? 6.5 left. Gamble right in front, passes for Daniel Saifidi. Happy to work the clock. Elliott out of dummy half. Doesn't go to Daniel Saifidi. Now Hastings, the grubber, into the in goal. Tanner Boyd, work to do. He loses the ball. Bradman Best might have another one. Tanner Boyd, a calamity. He was so intent on getting back into the field of play. He lost the ball, and Bradman Best was right on the spot.
Well, 6.5 minutes to go, Matt, and you're wondering what they were going to do. I thought field goal certainly was an option, but Jackson Hastings, very well done, just gets it into the in-goal area. You're right, Boyd wanted to be up and quick and at them, and the tackle from Hastings dislodges the ball, and Bradman Best gets it in his fingertips to get it grounded. And you're right, 12 was going to be very difficult, but make it 18 near impossible now for the Titans.
Just checking the grounding.
Yeah, he does get hold of it. He holds it, lifts it, plants it down. Yep.
So, yet to be confirmed, this try.
Yeah, I can't see anything wrong with it.
It is
did
now.
Control that, yeah. That's... Well, that's 5 tries, 5 second-half tries, and all after the 50-minute mark for the Newcastle Knights. The early one to the Titans, and then the David Fifita 92-metre run. But what a second half from the home side this afternoon.
Best. A double for him, and the trend between these clubs continues. High scoring with double-figure margins. What will it be in the next game? Manly, Cronulla. Nico Hines has a 5-0 record against the Sea Eagles. He's out for another big game. Jerome Luai talked about in relation to the New South Wales 5/8 role. A fantastic game from Jerome on Friday night. What does Nico do today?
Well, let's hope he has a big game as well, Nico. More New South Wales players playing well, better for New South Wales, man.
Absolutely. Now, Fasua Malawi feeds on the loose ball. No. He goes over the top of Miller, who makes an effective tackle, just concentrating on the legs and letting the body weight of Tino go over the top. Now, Philip Sami. 62 points in this game so far, and we're not done yet. The crowd wants more defence from their Knights. They know they've got the win, but they want to keep the Titans to 22. Here's 4 and through the line, looks too heavy. And Frizzell guarded the ball, didn't touch the ball. And the penalty goes to Gold Coast here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to tap.
Here's the kick-off.
Hey.
Would have been a Gold Coast hand in there, definitely.
Yeah, Philip
Pushes
Sami's
it forward.
palm.
Yep. Into the hands of Fasua Malawi. So they got a call there, the Titans, and they get another one too.
Not going to change the outcome of the game, but it might change the final scoreline and the final margin, important to many. It's 18 as we speak. A converted try here to get it back below 13. Ball on the ground, picked up there by Cruz Leeming, and the set restart comes to the Titans, who next week run into Canterbury at Sydney Olympic Park. Next Sunday, Mo Fodawaker and co. Leeming for Isaac Liu. Just the one try as a Titan for Isaac after his 9 seasons as a Rooster. Boyd for Kelly gets his hands clear for Khan Pereira to scoot over in the corner, and Lothie keeps this try-scoring run going.
That acceleration is outrageous, isn't it? He caught the ball standing still. The cover defence was coming across. He just accelerated and coasts in for that try. Bang. No one makes ground on him over 5 metres. That's
there are cars who don't accelerate that fast.
That's pretty good. No. The Teslas go all right, Matty, I think. I've heard, but
not lucky enough to drive one of them.
Well, I sat in one. They're frightening. They go that quick. Frightening. It's like a roller coaster ride.
Greg Alexander, brought to you by Elon Musk today on Fox League. But this man, he is a great model. Lofi Khan Pereira, 10 games of NRL, 12 tries, 21 years young. No wonder he's got a 3-year extension in the back pocket. Like Campbell, wrapped up until the end of 2026. And Tanner Boyd has it waved away.
Fell on the crossbar. Just didn't have enough legs.
So 40-26. A 14-point buffer for Newcastle. And with a couple of minutes to play, that might be the final margin.
You didn't give Brian Kelly enough raps for the pass then. He dragged in both defenders there. Got the arms free to offload. And there's the kick from Tanner Boyd. Just right on the top of the crossbar, bounced away.
Stay onside.
Last game before the bye, Newcastle gave up 40 points against Parramatta. They've come back from the bye and scored 40 points for the first time since 2020. So there's some confidence in that attack, but really, if you were to talk about the attack today, you should do more talking about the defence, Greg.
Yeah, Matty, the defence from the Newcastle Knights certainly has been the highlight. I know they've run in 5 tries in this second half, but it was set up by the defence, the speed and the ferocity of the defensive line, really jamming the Titans down in their own end.
Does the trend continue in the next game as well? Manly Cronulla, they're past 6 games, all decided by double figures. Here's Leeming, still going, Cruz Leeming. Now Foran, back to Leeming, on for Fotuaika, who slips, goes back to his feet. 66 points scored this afternoon. With the Sunday ticket points frenzy extend to 4 pints. Now it's intercepted by Dom Young. He sets sail. How far's Dom going to go? Here comes Jaden Campbell. The stride is too long. Dominic Young races away. It is a party. It's party time in the Hunter. Dominic Young boots the ball into the crowd. It is standing and applauding. A 44-point haul, and it might be 46. What a day out it's been for the Knights.
Yeah, fantastic home game win for Newcastle. Kieran Foran just trying to pull out something with the long ball there to Khan Pereira. Dom Young could see it coming, controlled it beautifully. Off he went. Jaden Campbell, the only chance to catch him, but just not quick enough to go with Dom Young. 6th try of the second half. And a little bit of pressure on them after the bye. The Barley story was a non-event, so let's, you know,
absolutely,
that was a complete non-event. Just paper talk, that one. But after their performance against Parramatta the week before the bye, there was some pressure on them, especially at home. They needed to have a good performance, and they needed the 2 points, quite simply. With only 3 wins and a draw coming into this game, they needed the win. They've been great.
Big kick here for Lockie Miller because Newcastle haven't scored more than 45 points since 2013. This will be their biggest total in a decade if Lockie Miller bangs this over. No pressure, Lockie. I'm sure he's aware of that stat. Over it goes to cap quite the afternoon for the Newcastle Knights, for their coach Adam O'Brien. They have a 20-point win. They have their biggest total in a decade. They've taken down Kieran Foran and the Titans 46-26.